Still sitting in a truck seat that's older than your favorite pair of work boots? Your back has been filing complaints for years. If your seat is worn out, sagging, or just plain uncomfortable, it's time for an upgrade. Head on over to seatspecialist.com. Check out their selection of quality replacement seats built to keep you comfortable mile after mile. And don't forget to use promo code TR104U to save 10% on your order. Seatspecialist.com, because a better ride starts with a better seat.
Welcome back to another episode of That's Delivered. I'm your host, Ray, and today we have a special guest, Evan Shelley, co-founder and CEO of Truck Parking Club. Evan's company is solving one of the biggest challenges in the trucking industry, finding parking. He's doing this in a unique way by monetizing vacant properties for landowners. And today we're going to dig into Evan's background, including his experience in real estate, the business model behind Truck Parking Club, and his successful marketing strategies. We'll also touch on how small business owners and truckers can promote themselves and grow their business. Evan, welcome to the show.
Yeah, thanks so much for having me.
Awesome. So we'll dive right into it. Evan, before we talk about the Truck Parking Club, let's talk a little bit about your background and what first got you interested in trucking and the parking situation. Was it something you always were involved in, or did you find yourself drawn into the industry through another path?
Yeah, so my background is really in construction and real estate. I went to school for civil engineering, and from that started working for some general contractors, site developers just out of college, and was from my late teens buying rental properties by pairing up with investors. And so always in and around real estate and construction, and went out into the corporate world for 18 months or so after college and kind of got bored with that and wanted to go do my own thing. So I started flipping houses in Florida. And from doing those deals, I started trying to push to bigger and bigger things and ended up doing large scale commercial and industrial land deals in Florida. And from doing those industrial deals, I ended up coming across a deal, a truck parking deal, a deal that was zone industrial, that I figured out would be a good fit to develop with truck parking, and went to the municipality to get everything zoned or get everything entitled for it, and was told that even though it was zone industrial, that they wouldn't support it, that they didn't think any of the neighboring parcels would support it, and that it wasn't a good idea. From everyone I had talked to, I had heard that there was a supply shortage of truck parking and that the demand continued to grow. So for me, it was kind of that was the moment when I was like, something interesting is going on here in truck parking. So that was in 2021. And for the next, 6 to 12 months after that, I really dove into the industry and tried to figure out what exactly is going on with truck parking and what stakeholders are saying about it.
Oh, that's a lot of background work that needed to be done. Do you look at the real estate industry and, that kind of sets you up a nice spot, for the role of Truck Parking Club. You understand that part about making those acquisitions. That's huge. Has your experience in the real estate shaped the idea, or was it something else, a particular moment that you realized these two industries could connect?
Yeah, so I think ultimately what it did, since I was outside the industry, is I just came at it from a different perspective, just looking at the entire issue. I was never a driver. No one in my family or are drivers or anything of that nature. So I just came from completely outside the industry and then kind of surrounded myself with people in the industry and tried to make sense of the best way to go about being a part of the solution to the truck parking issue.
Nice. Every new business is facing with growing pains. There's unexpected challenges or roadblocks when you first get started. How did you overcome those with Truck Parking Club?
I mean, we're still trying to figure that out. We're fortunate to be growing quickly, but it comes with its own issues. We're a tech company and everything breaks and you just gotta figure it out and continue to move quickly. I would just say at a high level, just persevering, having great people on the team that understand that this is not going to be easy and that it's going to be a lot of hours worked, and there's going to be problems and there's going to be challenges. And so really probably just a perseverance mindset and maybe most importantly, just mission oriented as well, where half of our team is former drivers. They understand the complications that come with truck parking, and we're all on a daily basis working hard to. Our mission is to help truckers save time and fuel by efficiently finding and reserving truck parking across the U.S. So every one of us is working very hard, and we keep that in mind that we're helping drivers get parked safely on a daily basis, faster, more efficiently, ultimately, hopefully making their lives a little bit easier.
Yeah, I mean, that app you guys have is very unique. I mean, you get to make the parking easy for the truck driver to get it done quick, not something that takes forever. That's huge. We appreciate that. Your business model is unique. Can you break that down for us a little bit about Truck Parking Club and how it works both for truckers and landowners?
Yeah, for sure. So Truck Parking Club is a two-sided marketplace where we help truckers find and reserve parking through our mobile app and website, and we help property owners and businesses monetize their extra space with truck parking. That can be a trucking company with extra space in their yard, a tow truck company, truck repair shop, warehouse, CDL school, any space that's suitable for truck parking. We can get you in the business of truck parking same day. And that's essentially the overarching business model and how it works and what our properties are.
Wow. I mean, your marketing and growth strategies really stand out. I mean, seems like you guys put a lot of work in it. What are some of the, I guess, early marketing efforts that you used or that first got you started? How did you make it work?
Yeah, I think in the beginning, you're just like begging for your first customer, then your second customer, then your 10th customer. It's just trying to get in front of the right people and match the right properties. It's extremely hard to get any traction in the beginning. And from there, as we started to get some traction, we just took a very much kind of a guerrilla marketing approach, just trying to be all over social and trying to be at boots on the ground at shows. We wrap vehicles that we drive around the U.S. that we're driving past, potential customers all the time. Really a grassroots approach to the entire thing. No, really yet to find kind of a silver bullet type scenario where, you have one marketing strategy that just really does everything for you. It's just a bit of a shotgun approach where we're always just looking to be in front of drivers, and we make some funny content. We make some business related content, just for the most part, keeping it very light, and just kind of entertaining and having a good time with it.
Yeah, I can tell. I mean, I enjoy watching it. I like the colors; they grab your attention, and you guys just seem to take the bull by the horns there and just keep on putting yourself out there. That's huge. I think a lot of small business owners and truckers listen to the show. Many of them are trying to build their own brands. What advice would you give someone who's trying to market their own business, especially if they're working on a limited budget?
Yeah, so when I first started this company, I was faced with a dilemma deciding. I had to decide were we going to build this company kind of quietly and then, kind of bring it to the public eye at whatever point we felt we were worthy of the public eye, or would we just market it like crazy from the very beginning and put ourselves out there, even, when our product, the app and the website wasn't quite perfect, but still putting ourselves out there, learning from our customers and taking that risk. And so we decided with the latter, and we really did it with very little money, just making organic content, and fortunately some of it took off. And I would say the advice would just be yourself, make whatever content you see fit. Obviously keep your customer in mind, but be yourself. All the stuff we put out, like this podcast that I'm doing with you, like I'm speaking from exactly what I would say to anyone else, internally, externally. This is just who I am, and this is what I believe. And I would suggest anyone that's out there, wanting to market, just put out content. It's free, essentially, like pick up a phone, record a video. It's essentially free. So a distribution channel, if you make something that resonates with people, it's gonna spread. And I'm sure you've seen it a million times. Like there's people that just pick up their phone and start making content, and before you know it, they're super viral. Mother Trucker's one of them that I think of. He does everything on his phone. Everything. It's just a phone. So, if someone like Mother Trucker can get out of the truck and just start making content and get to where he's at now, I think anyone can do it. It's probably the biggest thing is just putting yourself out there and being yourself.
Nice. Trade shows. That's where I think we met. Trade shows, events, large, huge. It's going to be a big part of the network in the trucking industry. Are there any trade shows or events that you have particularly shown to be beneficial for Truck Parking Club?
Mid America Trucking Show, for sure. Iowa 80 is a good one. The team just did Mayberry. That's a very good show in North Carolina. Let's see. All the Florida Trucking Show, Texas Trucking Show, California Trucking Show, all very good shows. Most of them are in convention centers in Fort Lauderdale, Houston, Ontario. Any of those shows are very solid. A lot of truckers, a lot of vendors, good turnouts typically. Those are the top of mind ones.
Okay. And so when you approach these trade shows, do you use them mainly for networking, or you also see them as opportunities to direct customer acquisition?
I guess both, right? For us, we're fortunate with our business. Somebody can come by the booth and you just start talking to them. The next thing you know, they've got 2 acres of land, somewhere that you could park a truck on tomorrow. So what starts out as just like a conversation with maybe a little bit of curiosity, it turns into a new customer, which we call property members. So a little bit of both. I think kind of going back to the content thing, we're not a super salesy company. We are big marketers, but we're not super salesy. So when we talk to people, we aren't just kind of in your face. We love what we do. We love what kind of talking about it, but we're also not twisting your arm trying to get you to add your location, or from the driver's perspective, trying to get them to use the app. It's more of hey, here's what we created, and here's how other people use it. Maybe it works for you, maybe it doesn't. So I would say a lot of networking, and a lot of times that ends up with doing business together.
Awesome. And I think when I met you, you're just super chill. I mean, you're very relaxed in your element. It showed that you really love what you do. That does come across in the marketplace. I really like that. And also so glad that you had come on the show. How many podcasts have you done so far?
I don't know the exact number, maybe 50, 75, something like that.
Yeah, I knew it was up there. That's pretty good, man. Really putting yourself out there. That's good. In the digital space, the social media is very powerful. So how do you leverage social media engagement for truckers and landowners? Any particular platforms that works best for you that you gravitate to?
So we're on, Facebook, TikTok, X, LinkedIn, YouTube. We're on all those, and specifically probably Facebook, TikTok, where we see a lot of results. And that's just, in the beginning there was no results, right? And now we've got a few 100,000 followers on both of them, and it's we have a lot of bandwidth there. And it's been very good to us. We've also put out probably a few thousand pieces of content too. So it's you put in the work, and it ends up being a good funnel. And a lot of drivers are on TikTok and Facebook, so it makes sense that they've done well. But even kind of these other tertiary platforms, LinkedIn has been incredibly well, although not as many drivers and stuff on there, but a lot of property owners, and that's worked well for us. X is relatively small following on there, but it's also shown some results. But if I had to choose two, it'd be Facebook and TikTok. They're really good platforms to connect with drivers and property owners.
Awesome. Yeah, I feel the same way.
Yeah.
What do you think would be some of the biggest marketing mistakes? Marketing mistakes for small business and trucking. It could happen. What are some pitfalls that you would avoid?
Yeah, honestly, it's probably just not putting out enough content, which is, I know, not the answer you want, but like, just put stuff out there. And, sometimes we put stuff out and it's like rub people the wrong way or whatever. And it is what it is. Like, it's okay. Like, people just move on. 30 minutes later, everyone's over it. So, um, I would say just what I see is not putting out enough content, or you put out maybe too much content because there's just no actual thought in it. It's just kind of like spam. Um, I would say kind of that line of just posting enough times a day to where and putting a little bit of thought into your content and not worrying about what people think. Um, I would say something else is like being super transactional, like so a person's content, every single piece of content is like, use my business, use my business, use my business, and there's no real value. I would say that's probably a mistake as well. Just like, people don't always want to be sold all the time. A lot of times what's good enough is just putting out some interesting content, and just your brand is somehow like, even as simple as you're wearing a shirt or your logo somewhere, like a lot of times that's enough to like get someone's attention on that thing. And you don't have to be super transactional. Just like, use our app, use our app, use our app, because I think that you're not going to really grow a following that way. You're going to just kind of wear people out, and they're not going to want to see any more of your content.
Awesome. And now that touch on Truck Parking Club and how it works, the unique value. Let's dive in deeper about the platform. For someone who's never used Truck Parking Club before, how do they get started? Could you walk us through some of the steps from signing up or booking the parking spot?
Yeah, so really built the app to make it a self-service app. So think like Airbnb, where, when you go on to book a vacation rental, you can do it all yourself right through the app within a few minutes. And we really built Truck Parking Club with the same mindset. And so any driver can go on, sign up, and book a location within minutes. Very simple sign up process. Just, I think it's first name, last name, email, phone number, all the stuff that we need to know to make sure that you have a good experience. And then we have 24/7, 365 customer service made up of former drivers to complement the app in case you have any questions, especially at this stage in our company. Drivers are just curious about, the company in general and the app. And, there's some, as I'm sure you're aware, with truck parking and paid parking, there's been a lot of kind of bad actors out there. There's been a lot of people that just haven't done a very good job of it. Reservable parking has historically, you reserve a spot and then you don't have one, all those things. So there's still some skepticism in the market, even though I think we've done a good job. It's just, if someone books a reservable spot at, let's say, one of the major truck stops and shows up and they don't have a spot available, that's a scar. And they're not going to just trust the next time they reserve a spot. So, having that customer service is great to ease the driver's concerns. Then you go through and you can, search by your current location to find what's closest to you, or you can, let's say you're 3 or 4 hours out from where you're going to stop for the night. You can go ahead and reserve in advance, and go through the booking process. It's going to ask you when you're going to arrive, whether that's, today, tomorrow, next week. It's going to ask you about your vehicle information. So when you arrive on site, that the property owner knows that you're going to be there, and they'll have that in their dashboard so they can know. And then from there, it's as simple as just payment info and clicking book. So kept it just super simplistic process. And so after you book the first time, assuming you're not switching trailers and trucks and stuff like that, if you're driving the same truck and trailer, you can book within like seconds. The second time you book, you just find the location you want to book, and book. And I would say on the listing pages, you've got photos, you've got details about where you need to park, you've got description of the property, you've got all listed amenities, whether that's security, fence gated, cameras, showers, free or paid showers, um, everything that a driver needs to know to make an informed decision about if this spot is suitable for them, for their parking, whether that's they need to park for an hour, they need to park for a day, they need to park for 3 days, a week, a month, really everything they need to know about the location. And it will show you availability in real time at those locations as well.
Nice. And is there a special feature that truckers like the most that they love or gravitate to?
Man, I think first off, it's the amount of time we save them and the peace of mind we give them. So when they go on the app and they book, it's going to take them, if it's the first time, a few minutes, if it's the second time, a few seconds. They know they've got a place to park that evening. They know that if they run into any issues, they've got 24/7, 365 customer service to answer any questions they have. I think it's just kind of the overarching experience of helping them remove one of the headaches of their day. I think that's that's the goal, right? The goal is to help drivers. I think on average, drivers spend 56 minutes a day driving around looking for parking, and our goal is to get that to 10 minutes or less. And I think we are starting to push the needle on that. Where once drivers get used to using us, we can really save them a lot of time during the day, and probably most importantly, just stress.
Okay, so you offer daily, monthly, anything like that on your plans for your options?
Yeah, so we do hourly, daily, weekly, monthly. The plan, there's no cost to be on the platform. So think there's no Amazon Prime subscription, right? It is just pay per use, just like Airbnb.
Nice. I like that. It makes it easier for people to get involved and engaged instead of feeling a little reluctant to do so. So, yeah, thank you for your time. I think that shares a good eye opener for our listeners. They can get on that app and get involved and learn more. When they get their hands on it, I think they're going to really see how easy it is and how much time it saves. So, Evan, it's been a really insightful conversation. Before we wrap it up, is there anything else you'd like to share with the listeners? Maybe some advice or final thoughts on trucking, parking, or just running a business?
Yeah. No, first off, appreciate you having me on. Secondly, I would just say, when I started this company, didn't know anything about the industry, but I'm super happy to and feel fortunate to be part of the industry and getting to know a lot of people in the industry and understanding what drivers go through on a daily basis. And it's quite incredible once you dive into trucking and transportation. What these guys go through out there on the road, and glad to be a small part of that. And we're working very hard to create more parking at locations all across the U.S. and just appreciate everyone's business out there. We've been fortunate to grow very quickly, and we'll continue to do so. And if you have any questions or anything, feel free to call into our customer service anytime. 888-899-PARK, 888-899-7275, 24/7, 365. And you can also go to the contact us page on the website, or you can hit us up on any of the socials, and we'll connect with you there.
Wow, that's awesome. Thank you so much, Evan. I appreciate you joining us today and being on the show. And for our listeners out there, if you're looking for parking solutions and you're a landowner interested in monetizing your property, make sure you check out Truck Parking Club. They have a lot of options for you. You can find the details on their website. You can also reach out to, like I said, the number that he provided. So they're always there, willing to help. You can tell that they got your best interest in mind. So thank you again, Evan.
Thanks so much.
All right. Hey, take care. If you guys like what you hear, please, leave a review. Reach out to us on all the platforms. We'll be there. We'd love to hear from you. And again, this is your go-to guy, Ray, and that's delivered.
Are you a trucker looking for a safe and reliable place to park? Look no further than Truck Parking Club. With locations across the country, we've got the perfect spot waiting for you, whether it's daily or long-term parking. And right now, use promo code DELIVERED at checkout for an exclusive discount. Reserve your spot today at truckparkingclub.com and drive stress-free, knowing your parking is covered.